Let's talk about Epcot. There is a lot to know about this park, and there are a lot of tips and recommendations that I have that will make your Epcot day even better. So stay tuned. Let's talk about all things Epcot today. As you can tell, I am repping one of my favorite countries in World Showcase, and that is Norway. But there is a lot to love about Epcot, and it is actually a park that is really great for the whole family. I think there was a long time when everyone assumed that Epcot was really the adults park, and it can be if that's what you're going for. If you're looking to drink around the world and sample a cocktail or mocktail in every country in World Showcase, you can absolutely do that. There are also incredible festivals throughout the year, making this a great spot for adults to flock and spend time eating and having different cocktails. Now, there's also a ton to do for children. I will say my daughter, when we went when she was 6 years old, came out and said that Epcot was her favorite park. She preferred it even over Magic Kingdom at that time. And there's a few reasons why. They've really spent some time building up opportunities for kids to explore, run around a little bit on their own, learn about the different countries, see a ton of characters. And so we're gonna break down what there is to do at Epcot and some special tips along the way to make it even easier for you to enjoy your day in Epcot, no matter your age and no matter what it is you wanna do while you're there. Let's start by breaking down the size of Epcot. The experimental prototype community of tomorrow, as Epcot is known, is actually a 300-acre park, and it is over double the size of Magic Kingdom Park. So if you think that you're getting a lot of steps in, walking around the castle and walking through the different lands of Magic Kingdom, you are in for a real treat when you get over to Epcot. Definitely plan for comfortable shoes, plan to take breaks, and plan to have a stroller or a double stroller if you are traveling with kids, because those little legs can get very tired walking across this really expansive park. So let's break down a little bit of how this park is laid out and what you can expect. Now, there are two entrances to Epcot. Most people don't realize that. There is a front entrance where you will walk right into where the spaceship Earth is located. And then there is also the World Showcase entrance, which is in the back part of the park. This is accessible via the Disney Skyliner and also the Epcot area resorts, such as Yacht and Beach Club, Boardwalk, Swan and Dolphin, and everything around that Crescent Lake area. That's going to enter into the park in the back of World Showcase between the France and UK pavilions. So let's start back at the front. This is the way that most people are going to get there. This is where your parking lot is found. This is where the monorail will drop you off and all of the Disney bus transportation. So as you walk into Epcot, you're going to find the amazing spaceship Earth. This is obviously the icon of the park. There is an attraction in here called Spaceship Earth, and it is a very popular place to go and thank the Phoenicians. Now, directly behind Spaceship Earth, you have to make sure that you stop and get a photo with Walt himself. Walt the Dreamer statue is located there. It is a great PhotoPass photographer location, and it is a great spot to just take in all of the beauty that is the front part of Epcot. All right, let's move back into World Showcase. Now, the biggest debate that everyone has, obviously, is do you go right or do you go left when you're walking into World Showcase from the front of the park? Right is toward Canada, left is toward Mexico, and this is something that everyone has an opinion on, so make sure you drop in the comments, are you Team Mexico or Team Canada when it comes to entering World Showcase? All right, so as we walk our way around, we're gonna go clockwise just to make everyone happy, and also because I do think that going left is the most popular route. So we're gonna start in Mexico. Mexico is obviously known for some great eats, some great food to be had here. The margaritas are on point. I highly recommend the avocado margarita and visiting La Cava Tequila inside. And then also you'll wanna see the Grand Fiesta Tour. This is a popular, slow boat ride that will take you through all of the antics of Donald and his pals, and it also sails right past the pyramid and all of those who are dining over at La Cena and Hell restaurant inside the big Mexico pavilion. Working your way back from there, you'll go to Norway. Norway is obviously what I'm representing today, and it is where you will find Anna and Elsa to meet and greet in their summer house. This is the only place you can actually get a meet and greet with Anna and Elsa outside of some of the special parties or events that happen at other parks throughout the year, and it is a beautiful place to visit. There is usually a bit of a line here, so make sure you check your My Disney Experience app for wait times before you go and queue up. And this is also where you're gonna find the very popular Frozen Ever After ride. This attraction does get a very long wait. It is my #1 recommendation to go ahead and rope drop this ride. We'll talk a little bit more about my Lightning Lane recommendations for this park in general, but this is a ride you wanna get on early if you can, or at least prioritize that Tier 1 Lightning Lane spot for. You also have an amazing dining option here at Akershus Royal Dining Hall. And if you haven't checked out my video review of Akershus, make sure that you check that here as well. That's gonna be a great thing for you to watch if you wanna decide if that's a great restaurant for your family. As you continue to work your way back, you'll head yourself into China. China is also a very beautiful pavilion. There's a lot to explore deeper in this pavilion here. Not as much in terms of attractions, but there's a lot to experience, and also a really great kid cot station. So if you want your kids to be able to get their passport books and check off walking around each of the countries, this is a great way to keep them engaged as you're walking through World Showcase. But you want to definitely make sure that you hit up the spot here in China. Next to China, you'll have the Outpost. I actually was just laughing about the Outpost the other day. A lot of people are like, this is kind of an unnamed land. We don't know what's gonna happen here. But I will say my kids love it here. This is a great place for them to go and burn off a little extra energy midway through World Showcase. And there are some drums and places where you can make music. There's also some artists and local art that you can explore here. So don't discredit the Outpost. It is definitely a place that you will pass through, but also one that you can stop in and spend a little bit of time. All right, next up is Germany. Germany is a massive pavilion area. The Karmelkusch is one of the most popular places to grab a sweet treat. Obviously, you can also get some great beer, have a wonderful dinner at the Biergarten restaurant, and hear some live music while you're in there eating. All right, after Germany, we're gonna head into Italy. Italy, this is actually a controversial one. There's not a lot of people who love the food in Italy, but they will all agree that Via Napoli is the best place to get your pizza at Disney World. So make sure that you do check out a reservation at Via Napoli. And sometimes they even have the pizza window open, so you can grab a quick slice if you're not looking to sit down for dinner there. But this is a really fun area to look out and explore some of the different architecture, some of the details in here. It's absolutely beautiful. And this is also one of my favorite spots to visit during Festival of the Holidays, where you can hear from La Befana Showcase, and we are at the America Adventure Pavilion. This is known for some great barbecue, some great beers, and then there's also a giant theater where you're gonna see a lot of different hosted events for the festivals that go out throughout the year. After we leave the American Adventure Pavilion, we move to Japan. There's also some great shopping here, some great snacks that you can find, snacks that you can only find that are usually in Japan. But this is a wonderful area to explore, to walk around. And next up is Morocco. Morocco has some of my favorite architecture in all of the World Showcase pavilions. It is absolutely stunning. And as you walk deeper and deeper into Morocco, you will find different characters you can interact with and quiet spaces to go have a quick sip or some food or just get in some shade. Honestly, this is a great place to go back and relax, get a little bit of time off of your feet, and just take in the amazing details here. This is also where you're going to find Princess Jasmine meeting and greeting throughout different parts of the day. So we've definitely visited back here quite a few times, as I have a Jasmine fan in our family. Next up is France. France is probably one of the most popular places to grab a cocktail in all of World Showcase. There are some frosés that are really popular, some martinis that you can get, obviously champagne and wine. And there's also one of the most popular attractions in World Showcase, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. This is in the very back of the France Pavilion. It takes a little bit of time to walk back there. And again, this is a very popular ride that can get over an hour and a half minute waits depending on when you're going. So this could also be a great option for rope drop in the morning, especially if you're able to enter from the World Showcase entrance. This is right there for you. Get in early, get on that ride. And if not, as I mentioned with Frozen Ever After, this may be one that you want to prioritize early booking for that Tier 1 lightning lane. All right. In France, you'll also find some characters there that rotate out. You'll find Sleeping Beauty most often. You may also find Belle there, depending on the time of year and the time of day. So just keep in mind there's some great princess action in the back of World Showcase here. Next, you're going to cross into the UK. The UK is one of my favorite spots to hang out. This is not one that gets mentioned a ton, but they have the best fish and chips at Yorkshire Fish Shop. So make sure you get that quick service. You can mobile order. I always mobile order. And then you can also meet Winnie the Pooh and maybe Alice in Wonderland back here, and occasionally Mary Poppins. So there's a lot of little hidden details back here as you're walking in the back of the UK area. It can get a little quiet. There's some hedge mazes that kids can walk around through, and also live music can be found here in the evenings, especially on the weekends. And finally, we end up in Canada. Our good friends in Canada. There's an amazing stage here with a lot of live entertainment, especially on the weekends. Definitely take some time to sit here and listen to the bands that come in. They're incredible. This is something my daughter loved doing when we were here on a mother-daughter trip. We just sat there and took in some of the music and the sounds, and it was a really great place to just kind of unwind, especially at the end of a long walking day. All right, so that gives you the lay of the land. A couple recommendations I have for you. I mentioned lightning lanes a few times. It's pretty up and down depending on what you want to do. There aren't a ton of heavy hitter attractions, especially with Test Track closed right now in Epcot. So this could be a park that you choose or you opt to just skip having the multi-pass for. that is totally up to you. You can buy an individual lightning lane for Guardians of the Galaxy, and if that's a must ride for you, I highly recommend getting that individual lightning lane and choosing a time that's going to work best for you and your party. Now, if you are going to do the multi-pass here, as I mentioned, I think there's 2 rides that need to be prioritized for you. You can pick one from the tier 1 category, and those should definitely be Remy's Ratatouille Adventure or Frozen Ever After. Now, whichever one you don't book, you may want to consider rope dropping and getting to the park really early for. This is going to help ensure that you get both of those must-dos in, because it is easy for those 2 attractions who are super popular in that tier 1 category to sell out for the day, and you may not be able to book the second one later during your day. So just keep that in mind. If it's a must-do to do both, you may want to get to that park early and at least rope drop one of them. My best tip is to rope drop Frozen. I think it's easier to rope drop. It's a shorter wait. And especially if you're entering from the front of the park, it's going to be a little easier for you to get to. Now, the other rides that are going to be on Lightning Lane service here are, again, rides that don't often always get a super long wait. So you think about things like Nemo and Friends, Turtle Talk with Crush, Spaceship Earth, Living with the Land. These are rides that you can usually find a relatively low wait time throughout the day. But again, if you're doing multi-pass because you want to try to get as much as you can in, just pick a couple of those and try to book one of them early in the morning, because as soon as you tap into that first ride, you can then go ahead and book your next one. That's going to be the best way to maximize your time at Epcot with Lightning Lane multi-pass. All right, so that's the scoop on Lightning Lane. My other best advice for you is to go ahead and get to this park early, especially if you're traveling with children. This park can get very busy at night, especially on weekends, as a lot of the locals like to come here and sample the food and drinks and just have a nice, like, low-key live music type of night in Epcot. So if you're traveling with kids or you have a bulky stroller, which is kind of the life that we're in right now with my family, it's a really great park to go to early in the morning. It is quiet, you can easily navigate around, you can get a lot of those must-do things done early, and then maybe enjoy later part of the day having a dinner and walking around and listening to some live music, but you can get a ton done in the morning here. So my best advice for those traveling with kids, if you can, get there early and enjoy a quieter morning in Epcot, especially if you start in World Showcase. And last but not least, do not discredit the character interactions that can be found here. There's tons of meet and greets, especially for princess-loving fans. You often can find every princess in their respective country in World Showcase. And if you don't want to waste time at Magic Kingdom trying to wait in those longer lines at Cinderella's Royal Table or Fairy Tale Hall, it may be worth your time prioritizing meeting princesses over in Epcot. It's going to be easier to do it there. The lines are going to be a lot shorter, and then you can reserve your Magic Kingdom day for more time riding rides and seeing attractions and shows. So I hope these tips are helpful for you. If you have any of your favorite recommendations that you want to drop in the comments below, please do. I'd love to hear what you love to do or what are must-sees for you when you visit Epcot, and make sure that you subscribe and follow along for more. Thanks for watching.